Hello, I'm Nicole Michelle, founder and femininity influencer for the Inner Beauty movement, and welcome back to all of you. Thank you for joining me today. And today we're talking about 3 reasons why masculine men fear marriage. Here we go. All right, so let's talk about the first one. Fear of losing themselves. Freedom is high on a man's list of things he values. If you know anything about masculine men, they value freedom. Well, why is this important if we're talking about marriage, Nicole? This is important because men value freedom because they need the freedom to be masculine. They need the freedom to jump into hero mode, to save lives, to protect, to work hard. They need the freedom to be able to analyze, to get in their heads. They need time to decompress after a hard day of working hard and producing. They need time to decompress, and they need freedom to do that. When women think about freedom, we think, oh my God, he doesn't want to be around me. Well, when a man thinks about freedom, he thinks mostly about, do I have the opportunity to be me? He just needs time to just be him, and where he doesn't have to worry about anything. He doesn't have any responsibility for that moment. He can think about what he needs to think about. He can recuperate, regroup, and then come back as his best self. This is his way of rejuvenating, sort of like what I call the man cave, right? And a lot of women actually create man caves in their homes, and I highly recommend women do that. But men need to know that the woman that they're with is not going to lose her mind, like have an exorcist moment because he needs time to himself. He needs to know that she's okay. He doesn't have to see about her emotionally every single moment of the day, that she's going to be okay when he has to regroup. When it's his turn to regroup or rejuvenate, she's not going to lose her mind. Because in a marriage, these are two individuals. These are two people that come together, and they're two individual people with two different lines of creativity, two different individual thought processes. He's masculine, she's feminine, and both want to be respected in that space, but they also want to enjoy one another's company. That's what marriage is. They're sharing their life with each other, right? So he needs to go and regroup so he can handle all of the requests coming from his family and be their hero and show up as their provider and a protector. But he needs those moments, and he needs the freedom to be able to do that without his wife losing her mind. And the woman that is able to do this and communicate to her man, I trust you and I love you for who you are, and I actually like you, and I have no problem with you wanting a few moments of autonomy, with you wanting a few moments to regroup and spend some time with yourself. It's okay. That woman motivates him to want to be around her more because she understands, even though I need some time to myself, it doesn't mean I'm checking out of the relationship, doesn't mean I'm cheating, doesn't mean I'm leaving you. It just means I need a few minutes to just decompress after a heavy day. And a lot of times men don't communicate how difficult their day is. A lot of times as feminine women, we have to use our intuition. We have to be very intuitive to understand and pick up on energies. You know, he's kind of a little off. Let me see what's going on with him. And it's not always conversation that does it. Sometimes it's just, he just needs some time and space and peace and quiet. Okay, so the woman that understands that is on her way to marriage. Fear of changing. Men constantly complain that I'm afraid she's going to be feminine, and then when we get married, she's going to turn into a pit bull in a skirt. I'm going to roll over, look in her face, and she's going to hate me. That is a masculine man's biggest fear, is that what he takes to the altar won't be the woman that he actually spends the rest of his life with. I don't know how many times I've heard men complain. I've done one-on-ones with guys who complain, I married her, this is what I thought I got, and then after I married her, this is what I got. Or when I got in a relationship, she completely changed, and that's why I backed away from her. That's why I didn't marry her. A lot of women are left wondering, what happened? Why did he leave? And I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of times women approach relationships in an alpha female energy. And so they go into the relationship with all of the social cues of a feminine woman. They look good, they smell good, they talk good, they study videos on how to use their voice tonation, and they're very eloquent speakers, and they're very confident and very attractive. Except when they get into a relationship, now their real true self starts to show when they're triggered, when there are obstacles in the relationship, when there are challenges. Her real self begins to surface and not the feminine facade. And men are so afraid of this. They just assume everybody that talks about femininity is all about fakeness. Because in a lot of circles it is. It really is a means to an end. You know, use your femininity to sucker him in and then get his money and then use him, and you know. So a lot of men have their guard up. They're like, okay, what if I get with the woman thinking that she's one way, and then I take her home, I buy her this ring, I buy her this house, I buy her this car, and then I realize, oh my God, what did I just do? She is not who I thought she was. Which is why you're sharing your life with each other, so you should be growing as a couple. As he changes, you change. As you change, he changes. And it should be a mutual progression, if you will. And marriage is about personal growth as well. So as he improves, she'll improve. They're both focused on growth together, which makes them a family. And they pass on those great goals to the children. Ladies, please understand, I know it's hard to hear certain things, and it's really easy. It's really easy to just jump on the defensive and go, oh my God, women change, men should just deal with it. It's easy to do that, right? The woman thing to do, the real feminine thing to do, is to really try to understand, to seek to understand. And if you're going to be a wife, that is an ability that you're going to need to cultivate. And the third fear, and this is the most important, ladies take notes, fear of failing. Now the fellas who are listening to this won't even comment. They're kind of ear hustling, and they will not admit that they do not want to fail. They do not want to hear your mouth, you promised me this and you didn't get me that. They don't want to make a promise they can't keep. They don't want to get married and disappoint you. They don't want to take on the responsibility of being a husband and failing. It could be resources. It could be they may not have had a good male role model. It could be his parents got a divorce and he didn't seek successful marriages. It could be he's just nervous. It could be he's a playboy. It could be he hasn't grown out of his playboy stage. Whatever the case may be, for you as a woman, it's not your job to kind of figure out why he's afraid. Just know it's fear of failing, period, right? And when you start delving too deep into why, the whys, it's easy to get caught up in mothering. So you don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole. Just know fear is at the top of his list. And why is this the biggest one? Fear of failing. And why is that? They don't want to disappoint you. They don't want to disappoint the woman that they love. They're never going to admit that to you. They want to be your hero. They want you to love them. They want you to get out and brag about how successful he is and how he does this for you and how he does that for you and how great he is in bed and how he bought you this and he did that. And he wants you to brag. He wants you to be happy. The main thing masculine men want to do is make his feminine woman happy. And if at all he feels he's going to fail, he won't do it. A lot of women have outlandish requirements, and let me explain, because I know this will be taken out of context. Nicole is promoting women be with broke men. That is not what I'm saying. Let me explain. What I'm saying is, when women who have chosen a particular man and you know what he brings to the table, he's made it clear he's not some type of enigma where you're trying to figure out this and you're still trying to do background check. You know what he is, you know what he brings to the table, it's clear, he hasn't hid anything from you, and you enter into the relationship okay with that. And when a man hears a woman ask for certain things that's outside of the scope of the things that he already has, or is outside of his scope of resources, you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna pull back. right? And if he gets a woman that accepts him where he is and says, you know what, I love what you give me now, and I know that together we're going to be a great team, and I know that you have it in you to do those great things, that's the woman that will more than likely get the ring. The women that he's going to have fun with, the women that he's going to ghost, the women that he's going to give the runaround, the women that he's going to sleep with on a Friday and be out with someone else, his main date on a Saturday. Those are the women that have these outlandish requests, outlandish lifestyle dreams, and nothing's wrong with that, but they need to bring it in a little bit and be a little realistic. And this feeds into the fear that most men have of failing. They don't want to get with the woman, lay out everything he has to offer to this beautiful woman, and then she goes, that's not enough. So as a future wife, right, as a woman who desires marriage, it's important that you understand men want to succeed with you. They don't want to fail. They don't want to let you down. For a lot of men, it's just easier to avoid you altogether and just deal with you on a superficial level, because nothing he gives you will be enough. And a lot of men have no problems giving the sun, moon, stars, quasars, and all of that other stuff in the whole universe. But a woman who desires to be married and really wants to communicate to that man that she's in it to win it with him, she has to communicate that she's okay with where he is now. We're not talking about men who are perpetual losers. We're talking about competent men who have displayed an interest and who have an invested interest in seeing you happy. Those are the men we're talking about. And they have a legitimate fear. And if you want to be a wife at any point, you're going to have to deal with these fears. A mature man is going to conquer his fears at some point, and he's going to have a family. There are going to be men that are going to be perpetual boys, and they'll make up constant excuses to avoid marriage. We're not talking about them. We're talking about mature men who really truly do desire to be married and will eventually be married at some point. And as a future wife, you want to communicate to him, look, I hear you. I see your humanity. I understand. And I truly want to be the woman that you spend the rest of your life with. And I get it. I get it, and I get you. And that's why we need to be together. That's why we're a team, baby. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you return. Please like and subscribe and share. Go to our website. Check us out on social media. All those links are in the description box below. We look forward to seeing you and talking to you. And for exclusive content and lives, click on the Patreon to join us on social media. Keep up with us, stay in contact. The links are in the description box below. And until the next time, remember, I love you and Jesus Christ loves you. And until the next time, keep the faith. Bye.